Hey guys, what's up? India is often termed as the land of snake charmers, which inevitably means there are a lot of snakes in India. There are about 200 species of snakes in India, the most dangerous being the cobra, the black cobra. Snake bites can get very fatal. The complications can range from having a heart stroke to a kidney failure, which is untreatable. It could lead to paralysis. It could lead to a lot of other health complications that is very difficult to cure. In a situation like that, where there are so many species of snakes, and often snake bites can be very dangerous. Chances of survival when untreated can be almost negligible. In such situations, an antivenom is the only solution for you to come out of this situation and survive. When you talk about antivenom, there are no different kinds of antivenoms for different kinds of snake bites. There is only one antivenom for any kind of snake bite. Now, have you ever wondered about how do these antivenoms get produced? Who makes them? Is there a company that makes them? What does an antivenom contain? An antivenom also should be poison, right? Because when a snake injects venom or poison into your body, the antivenom is also, it also has to come, the source has to be poison because that's how it gets treated. So to negate the effects of a poison, you need an antivenom. How do these antivenoms get manufactured? And if the source of these antivenoms, as far as India is concerned at least, can shock you if you pay close attention to who produces these antivenoms and where does it come from, can actually be shocking. So let's get started without any delay. In a country like India, there is a very urgent need for a consistent production of antivenom because you have a lot of rural areas where chances of people surviving can be less if antivenoms are not administered on time. So in a situation like that, you need to make sure that there is a constant flow of antivenoms coming in from whatever the source. As I said, that's still a surprise. The source will definitely surprise you. There is a tribe called Irula tribe, and this sect of people live in the border of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So these are the people who were catching rats. They were making sure that rats and rodents did not destroy one's fields. So these are the guys who smoked out the rats. These are the people who are skilled in herbal medicine and administering other sorts of medications. Not just that, they have another peculiar skill, which is catching snakes. Now, what do you mean by catching snakes? Catching snakes is catching snakes. They catch these snakes, and in the olden days, what these guys used to do is they used to strip the skin out of these snakes and they used to sell the skin to tanners who then exported these skins to other countries like US and Europe, which were used in fashion designs, and they used to get paid about less than $1 to $1.50 per skin. Though it was not very economical, but these guys didn't know anything else, so they had to resort to something like that. Now, when you look at this, what did they do to the snake after it's stripped off the skin? They don't consume the meat because of the deep respect they have to their main goddess, who is goddess Kanyaman. Now, coming back to the topic of catching these snakes, the Irula tribe's skill is legendary. Not just in India, there were occasions when they were called from the US to help them get rid of certain pythons which were making it difficult for other mammals to survive in a national park. Such is their skill. Now what happens is, how do these antivenoms get produced? And by now, if you have not realized, the surprise is most of the antivenom that's distributed across health organizations and companies in India come from Irula tribe. So these are the guys who produce antivenom and supply to most of the companies that make them. There are about 6 companies in India who make about 1.6 million vials of antivenom each year, and most of the production comes from the Irula tribe. Now, how did this get started? Let's backtrack. From a tribe who were primarily catching hold of rats and getting rid of rats from crops, how did these guys get into producing antivenom? So what happened was, these guys were stripping the skin off from the snakes and they were exporting to other countries until the Wildlife Protection Act came in 1972, and they banned hunting of animals including snakes. So now they did not know what to do. They were out of job already and they were left with no source of income. And we are talking about a time when there were annually 40,000 to 50,000 snake bites happening across the globe, out of which 25% came from India. Now, when you have such a public hazard, now there has to be somebody to take care of that, right? Now 10,000 people per year means that there are so many anti-venom vials which is required, which means somebody has to get hold of so many snakes and help in the production of anti-venom. That's when things got better for the Irula tribe. Romulus Whitaker, a very renowned herpetologist and a wildlife conservationist, he has worked with the Irula tribe for more than 50 years, and he kind of understands what these guys are made of, their skill, and he was also aware of the problems these guys were facing. So what he did was he helped them form a cooperative society in 1978 called as the Irula Snake Catchers, where their skill was put to use to kind of catch hold of snakes and make sure they extract venom out of these snakes to produce anti-venom. Since its inception, this society has been sole provider of anti-venom or should I say major provider of anti-venom across the globe for a lot of organizations and health organizations. But don't let this fool you. By no means is this job an easy job. We're talking about snakes, guys. We're talking about dangerous snakes like cobras who could kill you with one bite and think you could lose your life. Now they are risking their lives, and it is such a dangerous profession or a dangerous act of providing a service. So what you need to keep in mind is there are certain things that these guys used to follow. For example, they only went after healthy snakes. They didn't go after each and every snake. They only knew when the snake had to be at a particular stage, which means only then was the venom that extracted out of the snake was useful. They only extracted the venom for 3 to 4 times over a period of 3 to 4 weeks, which means they catch hold of a snake, they preserve it for 21 days, and they make sure that they extract the venom 4 times during this cycle. Once it's done, they used to cut the scales of the snake just to make sure that they don't catch hold of the same snake again, and they left it in the wild. In some cases, fluorescent paints were used to identify snakes which had been recently used in the extraction of a venom process. This cooperative society is one of the largest producers of anti-venom in India. The Irula Snake Catchers Cooperative Society can house about 800 snakes at any given time, and all these snakes are preserved in clay pots which are sealed very thoroughly and carefully with porous cotton cloth. This is done so that the snakes get enough air supply. As I said, about 1.5 million anti-venom vials are manufactured by 6 companies in India annually. The Irula tribe, the Irulas are so good at what they do that they were invited by the Everglades National Park to curtail the damage that Burmese pythons have been doing, and they've been making the environment very difficult for other mammals to survive. However, you also may want to understand that constant increasing of constructions and booming real estate industry is making it very difficult for these people to survive, because very soon all these lands may be taken up for real estate constructions and so-called improvement. And apart from that, you also need to understand the newer generations of these people, of the newer generation of Irulas, are falling into the traditional path laid out by the society and forget traditional roots. Very soon this skill is going to die out. Not just that, it is an irony when these people say, when the Irulas say that the newer generation of Irulas are really scared of snakes. I hope you found this story interesting. I will see you again with another interesting story. Until then, my name is Casey, signing off. Ciao.